Men, welcome to Brook on Ushirika TV. Always a pleasure to have you. Wazee, wababa, vijana. My name is Pastor Kim, your host, and it's always a pleasure to have you on Ushirika TV on Brook. Last 2 weeks, we had a very special guest. We had a counselor who talked about men and mental issues, and after that, she mentioned something that I want us to pick up from. She said that men get into depression because of drugs and substance abuse. And she also said that sometimes drugs and sometimes people get into depression, and the way they think of escapism is through drugs and substance abuse. So today on Brook, we want to discuss about men and addiction. And today I have a very wonderful guest on stage. We have someone who has a story. So this is not just theory. He has a story. He has a life story that we'll not discuss today. We'll discuss next time. But today we want to discuss about men and addiction. And we have our guest today, a friend of many years. He's called, akona majina mengi. Ukienda upande wa usanii, atajitambulisha, upande wa church, upande wa evangelism na passion yake. So mi namuitanga Countryman. So Countryman, karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's yeah, Countryman ni jina ya usanii. I do music and then naitwa Pastor Dingo, gangster preacher. Ambaye ana deal na watu wako kwa extreme substance abuse, kwa watu wako kwa gangsterism na wasichana ambao wako kwa prostitution. So nikienda huko kama pastor lazima nikuwe different so that niweze kuadapt na watu ili niweze kuwafikia. So mi na steal people from the kingdom of darkness to the kingdom of light.
Wow.
So inaitwa Pastor Dingo.
Pastor Dingo.
And then now kuna hiyo nikiwa na suti ni Pastor Joseph. Sasa hiyo nimeacha udingo. Sasa niko church.
Uko church. Sasa pengine unaweza tuambia where you are based. Umeongea mambo ya crime, mambo ya prostitution, where you na mambo ya upasi, maybe where you are based.
Tuko based at niko na places.
Yes.
Church ni KG Mirema Drive pale hivyo karibu na Ruisambu. Tunadu programs kama za mademu wenye wanatoka kwa prostitution wanakuja church. Every Wednesday kuna inaitwa Turning Point Ministries. So every Wednesday we have a program for prostitutes. Every Thursday we have a program for addicts ambao wenye wana brew changa in Mathare. And then every Saturday we have street kids ambao wana sniff glue. Wow. So na every Sunday mimi ni pastor wa Levi. And then I work at Teen Challenge, ambao pia ni Christian discipleship program ambao ina deal na watu wako na life controlling issues. And then I started an NGO ambao pia is to help people who cannot afford rehabilitation, na inaitwa Reclaimers Street Foundation. We actually deal with extreme, kama saizi we have a program for the ladies, ina deal tu na extreme cases ya prostitution, gangsterism na mademo wenye kwa hard drugs kama heroin. Hao ndio tuko nao. Yes.
Wow. What a profile. And as I said, it's out of experience that he had this passion. And leo tukianza Countryman, pengine utuambie, you've seen men and addictions. Men addicted, najua kuna places umenipeleka.
Yeah.
Now na serious, the real life.
Yes.
And maybe you can tell us what drives men into these addictions. Nini na drive man anajipata pale?
Kuna so many issues because every other person ameanzia nyumbani. So problem mingi zinaanziaga nyumbani. Hatujajigi mtu kwa addiction kwanza. Tunaanza kuangalia, we go back kwa past yake ya life. And that was tunaanza kuangalia the family background. Ilikuwaje, walikuwa na baba. Kama the most cases ambao nimepata ni some parents walikuwa wanatumia alcohol. So that actually made them think that alcohol hainaga shida. Is part, kwanza anasema, anasema wakienda mass, warudi na kuna event, alcohol ni part of the menu. Aya, hiyo ni one. That wewe you become a good role model to your daughter or son by the way wewe unaishi. Actually children do not listen to what we say. They actually copy what we do. Imitate. So that is one. Number two, wazazi labda wali separate, divorce, ili create some emptiness into that person's life. Na unajua God akiordain marriage, marriage ni institution yake. So alikuwa anajua ni father na na mother. So because mother na play part yake, father na play part yake. Kuna mtu anasema if kama tabia ya mtoto wako haitoki kwa wewe kama parent, you're not the one who is parenting your kid, then you're not the parent. So now, from now you're divorced, na watu wako separated, that means there will be no father and there will be no mother. Mother can never become a father because roles zake ni different. So that emptiness, na trying to become everything to that son ama daughter, it doesn't work. And most of them, that's why God has always been saying, yeye ni father to the fatherless. Until you point that son or daughter to the father, the other father now ni God, not biological one, then huo mtu atakuwa na emptiness na try to find out yeye ni nani through experimentation na drugs, peer pressure, identity crisis, rights that are not right. Unajua rights ambazo si right. Ni ati ukifikisha 18 years you are able to drink. That is a right, but it is not right. Yeah, so there is a lot. And then sasa you see again kuna now rebelliousness. Watu wanataka commit kukuwa other people. Naona mse fulani anadu hivi, so mimi can become si mbaya sana. Even when people are drinking, actually kuna hiyo watu wanajiita functioning addicts. Functioning addicts ni watu wanafanya kazi and they still drink. Life inaenda vizuri but they still drink. Actually hakuna mtu alianza kukunywa pombe mingi, alianza na a sip. Hakuna mtu alianza 10 cigarettes, alianza na a puff. So meaning ule mtu mwenye anaona watu wakiendelea vizuri hivi, anaona life zao ziko vizuri, so ana associate na hiki kitu, anasema it is not really bad. Yes. So that curiosity, yeah. Yes.
Especially in the early years, teens years.
Yes, which is very bad because now their brain is growing. So and whatever comes in their mind that seems that this is okay, it's very hard to change them unless they have someone who is following up. And then it's also good also easy sleepovers. Zina introduce watu kwa so many issues, vices ambazo ni opposite na that ni tools za kudestroy life zao. Easy sleepovers. Sasa ni vizuri pia kama parent kujua mtoto wako wanaenda wapi, the friends ana hang around with. Yes, you can tell by the way that's why tunaangalia the behavior, the attitude, the mindset zenye ziko na mtoto. Kuna vitu walikuwa anapenda sana but saa hizo ni kama physical signs lakini saa hizi unakuta hapendi hivyo. Kuna alikuwa anapenda friends fulani but sasa amechange so by observing hata friends zake you can tell mtu hayuko vizuri. Yes.
Wow. So many of them. You've mentioned pale teen years, and I think from your experience, addictions za men, do they start young or kuna pahali zinaweza enter in life? Unaweza jipata maybe you had a good upbringing up to the age of say 16, 18, 19, umeenda college and an addiction grows from there, because sometimes vile maybe you came from a good family,
yes,
lakini pale high school ama university ama hata job working environment, addictions zinaweza ingililia hapo kwa men.
Yes, it can be so because environment pia ina determine on how wewe uta grow ama utadie. Actually environment seasons kuna some plants they cannot grow vizuri in a certain environment, but when you take them to another environment they actually grow. So hiyo ndio ina determine whether hiyo kitu ita grow ama ita grow. So kuna behaviors zingine ukientertain hata kwa job. Yeah, and that's why now ukiwa a believer you have to adapt without adopting. Wewe kuwa uko but you are the one to influence. Actually the word influence kwa Bible ni jina East. East inakuwa imenyamaza tu but inafanya kazi yake kabla do ishikanishe ishafanya job yake. Salt. Ukikuwa pale if wewe already haujui Mungu utaoperate kama hao. Because you are not different from them.
Yes.
Hata kama umetoka good, unajua kuna so many issues za life unaweza kuwa pia uko na emptiness ambao una feel anaweza kuwa hakunywi but kuna women. Anaweza kuwa hakunywi but ana relate identity yake na things, material possessions na money. So kuna by the way hata kuna hizi addictions zingine ambazo ni non chemical. Football.
Ako addicted to football.
Yes.
Chelsea, Man U.
Instead mtu walale anaenda usiku sacrifice their sleep for the sake of football.
Wow.
It becomes a problem to that person. And now you see, kuna feel good chemical. Nisha realize watu wakitoka Geshagi. Sometimes watu wakitoka Geshagi wakuje wa introduce kwa life ya Nairobi. Kwa nini they become even evil, yani wanakuwa inaitagwa aje, yani mara moja washaanza kujibamba, yani the happiness, the nini, the joy, kuna kukunywa, kuna nini. Most of the people wanatoka Geshagi, it happens like that. Because of dopamine in our brain. Inaitagwa feel good chemical. Feel good chemical is released when you are doing something pleasurable. So the more you do kitu pleasurable, the more you can release and the more you want it more.
Okay.
So kumaanisha if kama wewe uko kwa shamba na umekuja Nairobi umepata umepiga tu kasip, that feeling sasa the brain now changes now. It now asks you inakuuliza si ukumbuki kale kakitu, inakuremind. That's when now you go hang. So I'm thinking of the question that people actually environment inaweza kuwa the cause.
Okay.
Na that pia inamaanisha identity. If you don't know who you are, then you'll become other people.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much. I think when we come back, we will be back after a short break. When we come back, we'll briefly discuss drugs and crime and the interventions that we have. Which interventions do we have? Because I know drugs and crime are very interrelated. But there's hope. Men, there's hope. There are interventions. And when we come back, we have countryman today, gangster preacher.
Pastor Dingo.
Pastor Dingo, hiyo ndio najua sana. Or Pastor Joseph here on Brook. Don't touch that dial. We shall be right back after this break. Welcome back. Today it's all about men and addiction. Na tuko na countryman kwa studio. My name is Pastor Kim, your host, and welcome back. We've discussed before we went on break the causes of addiction in men, and we've gotten a very in-depth discussion on that. And countryman, kuna two things zina relate kwa men, especially crime na drugs. How do they relate kwa hizo mbili?
Especially the guys that I reach to, most of them are thugs. So because now you are addicted. Okay. The only thing that you want is the drug. And then mtu addicted atakai kazi. Because hiyo ni kama kumwestia time. Hata kwa manyumba zenyu mnajua the person mwenye anakuwa addicted most of the time anataka tu pesa tu nipatie kakumi kambao haraka vitu za haraka ndio anapenda. Waweza kuosha gari ama kufagia hapo nje. So hiyo because already ako addicted in the brain yake has nothing else ya kugive pleasure. So if they don't find that money na ni kama katoto wamezaa, they need to feed it. So what happens? They go to gangs.
Okay.
Actually many men find identity in gangs, find identity in drugs, and most men wako kwa prison. That's why wengi wako kwa prison. Because saizi kwa culture yetu yenye tuko, men wako confused. Kuna hiyo kitu inaitwa masculinity. Bado they don't know the tabias ama behaviors ambazo ziko associated na men kwa society, because culture imetu change kabisa. And then they also suffering from another crisis, confusion ingine inaitwa manhood. Still watu wakubwa wanaitwa watoto na mama zao na wanakula kwa mama. So hawajui if they have matured.
Na wakiona wanaitwa baby.
Baby. Hata nikiitwa mimi
babes.
And you see they even steal, ni addicted already, and they steal from their mothers to go and take drugs.
Wow.
So wanasema mtoto wangu ndio nampenda, so I cannot mpeleka jela. So, and that has always been my point, advice. Mtoto wako ni anafanya crime, akiiba unampeleka wapi? Kama ni mtu mwingine jirani angefanya. Because now when you stop, ukikosa kupeleka huo mtoto venye law inasema, then wewe unaitagwa an enabler. An enabler ni mtu ambaye anasaidia tabia kugrow. Yes, because how will this person ajue whatever I'm doing is wrong until I face the consequences, instead of you covering their pain. Wanasema pain ina motivate change. That's why saa zingine mtu akishikwa kama mwizi ameiba because of drug kwa street, siwezi mtoa. Nafurahia because naona labda this time atalan. So addiction, namba ya kuiba inaendaga
hand in hand.
hand in hand, because sometimes we don't have, tunataka we are addicted inamaanisha we can't live without this thing, because already our brain inaitisha na ni by, you know, when you start drugs ama any substance use, kuna agreement that people make but they don't know. It's very subtle, that you are free to begin but not always free to quit.
Oh, free to begin, not free to quit.
Yes.
Wow.
Not always free
Not
to
always,
quit. Yes. So niyo ina determine either wewe utatoka ama utatoka. So unakuwa trapped inside. No matter how una think uko free, you are never free. So that's why unaona lazima ziingiane na kutafuta, because you can't buy it. You can't get drugs for free. Like forever, like in Mathare, when they brew chang'aa, the one who brew chang'aa atalipwa pesa kidogo na alipwe na chang'aa. Hiyo chang'aa hiyo jik, instead aende auze, yeye ndiye anaweka ndani. So siku yenye atakosa hiyo chang'aa, ata make sure amepita. Unajua kuna wizi different kuna sasa wizi wa kuvunja mlango, inaitwa court. Kama umefunga mlango. Kuna watu asubuhi wanaamka na kingunia. Ngunia hiyo amebeba inaitwa para. Para ni ya kuweka, umetoa jiko yako hapo nje asubuhi, mitungi, anapita nayo. Kuna pickpocket. Saa hizi pickpocket, sasa kuna wengine wananipigia wakiwa jela but wameshikwa kwa sababu ya wizi. Yeah. Wow. But jela pia ina promote hizi tabia za drugs, because pia huko wanaibana jela ndio apate nini? Pesa ya drugs, because drugs ziko huko, hakuna mahali imepotelea,
unfortunately. Wow. Now as we gravitate to the end of this, there are signs. You know, there are some people who get shocked.
Yes.
Ati mtoto wangu wako in drugs, my son is in drugs. No, na vile ametulia. What are some of the, before full addiction, what are some of the things that we can be able to pick out with our men, our brothers, even our sisters, but our sons, that they are doing drugs?
One, the motivation. Whatever I had said that, whatever used to motivate them is no longer a source of motivation. They used to love maybe sports, certain sport. Lakini saa hizi, they don't reveal the friends ambao wana hang around. And then kutaka pesa throughout. Yeah. And then when I kuitisha too, and then you keep on pumping the money. That's one of the things. And then kuna physical way ya kuangalia the bloodshot eyes. Unaweza angalia macho kuna venye ina change. And then saa zote ni ku oversleep. Okay. Yeah. And then some indisciplined cases kwa shule. Yes, that tells you usi yule mtoto nilikuwa najua. Actually kama alikuwa ni mtu anaenda church, anasikiza gospel music, the change of music utajua, the programs zenye ana watch, the phone, if you angalia zile vitu wanaangalia, if you can follow up. Yeah. Okay. Na the way saa zingine wengine wanaweza kuwa so quiet. Naturally ni quiet, but sasa wakitumia kitu wanakuwa so jovious, wanaongea sana mingi sana.
So any change of habit, change of spending,
yes.
Change of attitude,
yes.
You should always pick it up.
Yes, the behaviors in the hata kulala pia. Yes, lazima
sleeping nini?
Yes.
Okay.
Oversleeping. Yeah, and then not wanting to relate with the people ambao wanamuuliza maswali. Not wanting to relate. Trying to to block people who would want them to change, to intervene.
Okay.
So that's why now they use. An addict can train you not to intervene. And very subtle emotionally, especially for the parents. It's very hard to know that they can train you not to intervene. That's why kuna manipulation. Manipulation sasa inamaanisha you'll get into their box, but they can't get into your box.
Okay.
Whatever they tell you, you do, but whatever you tell them, they don't do. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. But I believe from your life story that we shall cover in the next portion next week, I believe that there is hope.
Of course, hakuna mtu beyond change.
Yes.
That's what we believe. When now I do street ministry, I reach out to prostitutes. Kwa church mingi, they actually ni cast out ones.
Actually, as we speak about this, you've brought a very good component, the church.
Yes.
What interventions are there, and also what can the church do and the church stop doing so that we accommodate them?
Like first, ukienda kwa street, the people who are so kind, ni watu wa kanisa. Kuwapatia chakula, nguo, which is bad. It's a form of enablement. Trying to encourage this person that they will get free things when they remain in the streets.
Okay.
That is bad love. Inaitagwo harmful love. Church should stop enabling. Huo mtu shida yake si nguo. Sometimes watu and you see these people, integrity yao ni wako na PhD na uongo. So church need to learn that environment first before going there. Before reaching out to people who are addicted, you have first to be taught on how to reach them. Not necessarily on psychological issues, addiction counseling. No. Bible has a lot to do with evangelism on these people. Yeah. One, first ni judgment. Judgment have to die. Hata kama ulifunzwaje kuambia mtu akoke immediately ati vitu zitakuwa mzuri. That's not true. Juu mimi ningekuwa vizuri, yani ningekuwa na nyumba mingi sana. Sasa bado niko na mashida. He's trying to help this person find meaning in Christ on how to handle a solution to the problems zitakuja tu. Find a way to solve the problems in a meaningful way. Okay. Yes. So church should first stop enabling. Second, the judgment. Judgment. And then the third one, they should learn from the people who are doing it. Yeah. Kama sasa you see kwa street zingine naendaga huko, unakuta there is a church iko kama town, inapatiaga some ladies kwa street, inawapatia food sa lunch. So I went there and asked them, are you really helping these people? Ama bado unawa keep them here waiting for someone to give them food because they know. Will they go home? No. Will they find the meaning life out of the street? Iwezekani? Yes. So for sure, church imemiss. Na hizo vitu zote, there should be a solution from the church. But church hata sana kitu kingine nimekumbuka, church imekuwa ikijibless instead of blessing others.
Imekuwa
jibless.
Kujibless.
Prosperity, utabarikiwa, nini. The message is quite, it's flowing everywhere. And it has flooded the church. Yes.
So we should learn from them that are doing it, partner with them.
Yes.
And become what is the place of rehabilitation centers in all this?
Yes, rehabilitation centers, it is not guaranteed that when people go to rehabs will change. Because it has nothing to do with the rehab. It has something to do with this person.
Yes.
The parents also are involved in the change of this person. So, inakuwaga, when you are in addiction, you go to rehab, you can utoke huko even if it is 1 year, kama bado unaenda kwanza immediately hiyo siku unakunywa tu hiyo siku umetoka huko na umetumia like 500,000 because personal decision iko involved. That's why going to rehab it's not cure.
Okay.
Because personal decision
is involved.
If you don't, wewe toka huko, because now we have the addicts suffer from mental conditioning. So if you don't recondition that mentality, that person goes back to the way that person is conditioned.
Okay.
Yes.
And I want us to talk to a man out there, a man who is not in the extreme, maybe might be in the functional addicts, and they feel that this is messing my family, this is messing my finances, this is messing my Christianity, it's actually even messing my job. What can they do? Which first step or first steps can they do to start getting out of it?
The first step is to admit. The opposite, admit in denial. People in denial say whatever they know, whatever they are doing is wrong, but they don't see it the way you see it because they're still functioning. I can provide for my family. Me bado I can still work. Ni time too. I take some time so ni relax so that I treat my body. They actually say that. Ni ati lazima admit, and then continuous denial leads to delusion. You no longer recognize the truth any longer. So that is another problem. Now it becomes a stronghold. Over a stronghold. Addiction, another word about, there are so many words, dependency, addiction, life controlling issues, but in it go stronghold kwa word.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a stronghold. Now, when you have denial, denial is now you live in a lie. Yeah. It's another stronghold. Already where ni addict is a stronghold. So by breaking this stronghold, it's now the other people now, friends, that person is hard kwanza kuelewa some akona delusion because it's very subtle to them. Ni continuous being told the truth ndio unaweza break the denial. You tell yourself the truth because there are so many lies. Lies ambazo tunajambiaga ndio the most effective ones rather than the ones that were being told by other people. So we have some lies ambazo tumejiambia. So until those lies are broken out and you decide to come out of that lies, you'll never be free. Yes.
And how do we we've talked about not feeling, not being judgmental, but I want in a very specific way, like now for the church, we have addicts in church.
Yeah.
As I was sharing, kuna mtu atakwambia, by the way, kuna mi pasini natumianga hii kitu, lakini niko church. Some of them are non-chemical addictions, as we said.
Yes.
As a church, how do we, or as men fellowships, as men groups, how do we take care of this, and how do we reach out to the ones in church?
We still have a program that we tell people, church, to like pick and help people, because even those people come to church, they are not free. They are being mastered. By the way, addiction is when you are being mastered by something, and that blocks your spirituality and relationship with the God. So we have a program that we teach people in Itago, Living Free.
Okay,
Living free. It's how to handle people in a special way, not in church background now, but unamtreat kwa a special way where there is no judgment. Yes.
Okay. So let's love these people.
Loving also has to be hard love.
Hard love.
It's not only love of enabling. Kuna simekwambia kuna hiyo harmful love.
Yes.
Yeah, a wrong kind of help, which is loving people to the point of enabling.
Okay.
We don't enable them, but when they are there sharing their stories, make sure that their stories are not out there. Iziko tu hapo.
Okay.
So it's a special program that church needs to actually
so Living Free is in
where I am right now.
In Teens Challenge or KAG?
Even KAG. Teen Challenge should be doing that to churches, helping people.
Okay.
Yeah, but we are the ones now, the pioneers who would want to teach churches to do
wow. That's a good one. If you're listening and you are a church leader and you have some of these issues in church, we have help. We have hope. You can talk to Pastor Joseph. He can connect you to the people who can help you. And now we're almost coming to an end of this first part. Next part will be the true story, the life story. I started with this and then we go to the true story, not the other way, of Countryman. Lakini tukienda, you can give us a parting shot. What is your parting shot in all these things that you've said?
Yeah, there is no hopeless situation. Only people make situations go hopeless.
Wow. There's no hopeless situation. There is hope in Jesus Christ.
Of course.
And he has talked about the truth. The truth will set you free. Talk to yourself the truth, accept, and there is hope in Jesus Christ. He is able to move any situation. When we come to the next week's session and we hear about his story, you will know there's hope, and there is hope in Jesus Christ. And the Jesus Christ who did it for Countryman can also do it for you. Until next time, my name is Pastor Kim. I've been your host in today's Brook on Ushirika TV with my wonderful guest, Countryman, Pastor Dingo, Gangster Preacher, Pastor Joseph, na Mungu awabariki sana. And again, there is hope. God bless you.